done with a video, but I'm making another one. Why? Because there's so much to run through in one day, and because I know I'm gonna be able to do at least better videos tomorrow. I'll be able to do some Legends videos, maybe a little bit more PvP, even on King of Fighters, and just laugh and talk about that. Sorry, I had a little, I don't know what that was moment. I mean, I can play a little bit Call of Duty tomorrow also. I mean, you get what I'm saying. There's a lot I could do tomorrow, and today I was just like, there's a lot that he just been talking about, and I just haven't reacted to. So let's cram it all in one day.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to another Hot Takes video. It has been a while since we've done this, so in case you forgot, you guys give me hot takes. I tell you if I agree with you or if I disagree with you, if you're out of pocket, if you're capping, or whatever the case may be. Without further ado, let's get right into the video, which is the thumbnail of the video, and that is that NXT is dying. And I gotta say that I completely agree with this.
I have mixed emotions about, things. NXT dying, yes and no. To explain it, I think it thrives when the way it is at the moment, because let's be real, the booking decisions are kind of starting to set effect towards NXT. Like, and I'm not gonna say NXT is the best of all times. Nothing can ever beat NXT. No, NXT isn't the best of all times. It's really good for WWE, of course, but the decisions that they made from past to present are starting to catch up to it. It was running a good marathon at some points when Adam Cole was basically champion in general, or Johnny Gargano champion in general. Same with Tommaso Ciampa in general, because the thing is, with a lot of these wrestlers, they are a lot like, how do I put this? The superstars that we believe in, but they do run a course. They eventually, we feel burnt out after a while watching them do the same thing. Who really wants to watch Tommaso Ciampa continuously go for the NXT Championship if he's just going to fail? Who wants to watch Johnny Gargano go against anybody if he's just going to be a coward now and basically run and try to get a few good shots in? Who wants to watch Pete Dunne get better and better throughout each time period and lose at the end, even though he's proven to be a brawler that can fight with the best? Who wants to see Undisputed Era break up, watch individually them do their own separate things and fail at their own separate things? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't want to see Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly again. I'm just saying what happens to Kyle O'Reilly after this, because Adam Cole is in a safe space. Let's be real. If WWE said we're done, he can go to AEW and be a massive, and when I say massive star, I mean massive only because of NXT wise, not just because he's Adam Cole and not just because he was in the WWE. It's purely NXT why he would be such a massive star that may not outdo, Jon Moxley levels because of main roster. And it sucks to say, oh my gosh, did anyone hear about the whole thing about how Adam Cole probably won't be able to go after like the WWE Championship or even the Universal just because of his height and how skinny he is? I'm sorry, his wrestling capabilities match up to that. It puts some extra feet on him. This is why I think NXT is better, is because it's not just the land of giants. It's pretty much the land of anybody can be champion. From the biggest of guys to the smallest of guys, to the skinniest to the buffest. A lot of that's what I like about it. It's not just it's not just one in particular man, and any other person who wins it has it for a short period of time and has to drop it back off. Yes, there are implements and there's times that happen, but it's not every single 5 seconds. And plus, we have a lot of matches where people drop titles pretty much unexpectedly. Let's be real. Let's be real. And it's a small little thing, but that's just my thing about it. I like NXT. I like some of their matches. I like some of the what's the name, but I don't like where it's currently heading. Only because what's going to happen after all this? Really, what happens after Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole are done? What's going to happen when Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish are done? What's going to happen to those guys? What's going to happen? Tyler Breeze is gone, which he still could have been in NXT with Fandango trying to get the tag team championship, or being back on the main roster going for the tag team champ. It's not like you have a loaded roster to be able to say, well, we have time to. No, you don't, WWE. If you say, well, any other reason that we're not seeing at the moment, that's fine. But right now, I don't think firing and losing good competition is the best option right now. So that's my opinion when it comes to if NXT is dying. Yes and no. It's dying because of past booking decisions, and we're starting to leave what a lot of people will probably say as one great part of NXT. We're no longer in the age with Neville being champion. We're no longer in the age where it felt like there wasn't really no good competition outside of whoever was NXT champion. Now it's pretty much every competition everywhere. We're not in the KO era. We're not in the Sami Zayn era anymore. We're now in not just the Rebel Heart, not just the Black Heart. We're in a weird, chaotic area in NXT at the moment where it feels like at times it lost its footing, but other times it's like it firmly has its foot down saying, this is what we are. That's how I feel for NXT.
Hot take. In fact, I might as well change this to say that NXT is dead. I feel like the brand has officially died. It's been really boring. I don't like the direction where it's heading at all. It had a lot of potential back in the old days of 2018, 2019, 2016 it was lit, 2017 was lit, but recently it's not so great. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't really watch anymore. AEW definitely destroyed NXT and ruined it, because if you think about it, the minute they went to USA is when they tried too hard. They got Finn Balor. It was cool for a little bit, but clearly they did not try. Vince McMahon didn't care too much about it, and I think NXT is dead. That is my hot take on that. This hot take says that Elias deserves to win a mid-card championship at least once in his career. I think he's very talented, and I would agree that he is very talented, and I'm sure he will win it.
For sure, Intercontinental or United States. For sure, Intercontinental probably. I'm leaning more towards Intercontinental than anything else, if you want me to be brutally honest. And the only reason is because I don't know why, but I can see him holding it, and probably holding it much longer than him being United States. Him being United States, I feel like it would be like the shortest thing he would have, and it would be just for like a few months, maybe a month at lowest, or well, at worst. At best, I can see him at least a good 7 months with the Intercontinental. I don't know why, but I can just see him with the Intercontinental for at least a good 7 months, and at worst, 4 months.
Mid-card championship anytime now. It's actually kind of shocking that he didn't win a U.S. title yet. I mean, he was technically the 24/7 champion, but does that really count?
No, it doesn't.
No.
No.
Anyways, he will win it eventually. I agree that it's going to happen. So all I gotta say is you just gotta be a little patient. Steven says that Rey Mysterio. I know you were about to watch this video, and this ad just popped up. And I know.
Oh, you
don't
lying.
like ads. But hang with me for a second, because
Okay.
this one.
Yep. Yeah.
Mysterio deserves another world title run. He's a legendary talent, and he can still move like someone half of his age. His past world title runs weren't the best, so another one would be nice. And I'm sorry, Steven, I know
I can agree with anything you're about to say. If you by you saying that, I'm sorry, I agree off the bat. You want to know why? Because I think the thing with, especially with his current character at the moment, let's be honest, it is a father leaving the company, and you can tell. I think we all kind of saw it already happening before, because we felt like he really had nothing else to really do, but then Dominic came into the picture. It looked like Rey was already packing his bags and ready for WWE to say we've parted ways with him, but Dominic came in, and you can tell they've been playing it on screen perfectly that Rey's trying to leave this, but the only reason he's staying is for Dominic. Let's be real for a second, ladies and gentlemen. If Dominic didn't pop up, Rey would have been dipped. We wouldn't have seen Rey Mysterio versus Roman Reigns. We would have seen Rey Mysterio versus anyone else. This would have been happened probably 2 years ago during the pandemic era. We would have been lost Rey because there was nothing else for him to really do. But because of this, I can see him staying a tad bit longer. I can see him eventually retiring. Like I say, a fake or pray to God, no real injuries. Pray to God, no real injuries. But a fake injury that puts him out of action and makes his son go solo for a bit. Just maybe for a few months, maybe a good 2 months, just to test the waters, see how good he'll be with him just wrestling consistently as a single competitor and not tag. Just to test the waters. I say 2 months at max. Why 2 months? Because I don't think just making him, oh, it's only one night will be the thing. I think we should give him at least 2 months so we can at least try to get settled with it. Things like that. Him going against people like, let's see, he's on SmackDown though, so I was about to say Shelton Benjamin, but that's me more of, SmackDown was like not SmackDown, if W was more of an open thing instead of, individual brands, I think, yeah. Could I see him going against someone like Elias, even though I know Elias is on a different, what's the name? Yeah, I could see him battling with Elias. I could see him battling with The Miz. I could see him battling with not the greatest of greats, but enough that it makes sense why he would lose or win. Matches like that. Jeff Hardy, wouldn't see him. I know, I just named a bunch of Raw wrestlers, not SmackDown. I know I made the mistake. I keep doing it. I'm sorry. I forget. I messed up.
Love Rey Mysterio. I think the guy's a legend. I agree with you when you say that, but I don't think he deserves another world title run. I think he's done everything he had to do in the world title main event picture. I just don't think his time is now. I wish that WWE did give him a little longer reign back in 2011, when he almost beat John Cena, but no, it did not happen. It's kind of done now. I don't want to say Rey Mysterio as a world champion again. I just don't think it needs to happen. Brian says that Big Show does not get the recognition that he deserves. He is an underrated legend, and this is another hot take that I gotta disagree with, because I do think Big Show gets...
I know you did not just lie and say that he does not get the recognition. This man has gotten the recognition multiple times. We all see him as a legend. The only reason that some people don't is because of the casual nature of how we saw him during, 2014, 2015, 2018 sometimes even? 2017, I think it was the casual nature how we saw him throughout that year of when the Shield was around and stuff, when it just came out together and all that. Yeah, I think it was because we saw him so casually so many times when you would think that at this point, legend material. But no, he kept continuing to come back. He kept continuing to be in our faces. He kept continuing to boost other wrestlers. I think that's probably why you said that, but... He gets his. He does. But hey.
The credit that he deserves. I think a lot of people know he's a legend. He's done so much for the business. He's done so much for the WWE. And his humor and his comedy is on point. His matches were fun to watch. The Big Show has won multiple world championships. I think the fans love the Big Show as much as we all do. He's a legend, and that's just a fact. Ryland Sanderson says that I feel like Cesaro's push is over, and WWE never capitalized on his momentum after his big win at WrestleMania. And unfortunately, I do gotta say something. Cesaro was never meant to have a crazy push where he was good.
I disagree, and I agree with you. I will agree when it comes to this. I think pushing a wrestler for one particular storyline is never bad. I don't think that that's necessarily bad. I do have to say what's bad is when you have no other plans afterwards. I think that should be something you should at least have one or a few people working on, because every wrestler has to have something to do after that big storyline that you have is done. If you say, well, we have nothing for the next 4 months for you, we'll do it in like another 4 or 8 months of you kind of being at home, or you having little to nothing matches to move on, then and only then can I see something like this happen. Like Cesaro right now, I love the Cesaro push that they gave him because it was worth it. I knew he wasn't going to win. As many times he went against Roman, you would think he was. This time, I think he was able to push him. 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 I think he was but it was understandable why he didn't. I'm not mad at him for not winning, nor am I mad at WWE. I think that Cesaro's time is slowly starting to reach that Dolph Ziggler stage where he's not gonna get it, and it's stupidly sad to say it, but Dolph Ziggler should have been WWE champion. He should have held the heavyweight championship in a more memorable run. He should have been on my screen more times than what he actually was. Now Dolph Ziggler is in a stage in his career where I kind of don't care for him to become a champion. 2016 was pretty much, in my personal opinion, this could be a hot take, was pretty much the last straw for me when it came to Dolph Ziggler in particular. Now, whatever he does, I'll just accept it. If he moves on to AEW, they can't be mad at that at all. They can't. They really can't. Because his talent, he's a wrestler. When I say a wrestler, let me explain. Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, there's so many wrestlers, but I'm gonna stick to those three in particular. I'm gonna stick to the three: Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Dolph Ziggler. Those three, if they ever got another push, I'm immediately rooting for them because they would deserve the push, and it'll be worth the time. It'll be worth it. Even if they're going to outright lose to winning the title at the end, and they just continue still being big afterwards. Because that's my thing. The thing of it, it's not for you to have a certain small burst and that's it. It's for you to continue on even after it. Cesaro has something to prove to Vince McMahon, and I think he's already at this point proven it. It's just that he's waiting for a different time period to pop up for him to become WWE or Universal Champion. Personally, I would love to see him, of course, get better and go back to Raw and reclaim what's rightfully his, which is the WWE Championship, which I would love to see Dolph Ziggler just, it should have been me.
Win the world title. There's no way that he was going to dethrone Bobby Lashley or Roman Reigns anytime soon. It just was never
Later down the line.
Yes, WWE wanted to build them up just a little bit so you can get the fans' hopes up for a match with Roman Reigns, and that was when they stripped it away from us and had him lose. Unfortunately, Cesaro was never going to be capitalizing on this momentum. It was a short push, and that was about it, and I liked it for what it was. One day, I do think he will eventually become the world champion. I'm just going to be a little bit more patient. I feel like it's going to happen when he's maybe 42 or 43 for some reason. Connor says that the current Alexa Bliss character should not be happening right now without The Fiend. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I made a whole video dedicated to this. The whole thing with Alexa Bliss and The Fiend and her taking his gimmick is not cool.
I'm going to say this. I don't like Alexa Bliss like this. Like, I prefer, when I first saw her in 2016, when she was Little Miss Bliss and all that, when she was just like short female that could really put the hurt on some people. Like, that's what I liked personally. That's what I liked about Alexa Bliss. I like that Alexa Bliss. I like the one that stood for something instead of a demonic character that needs to get the demon beaten out of her. Shayna Baszler should have ended that whole night for her. Shayna should have beaten the mess out of her, and Asuka should have tagged in, and everybody else should have just tagged in. Bring back Legends just to beat her up. Why? Because I just dislike the character that much. That I would tell bring Alexa Bliss to even tag herself in just to beat herself up, because just get rid of this. Get rid of this as soon as you possibly can, WWE. Please. I beg of you. Let her go back to Little Miss Bliss and be just mean to everybody instead of this. Oh my God, so stupid dewdrop. And then the goddamn doll winked. The doll freaking winked, bro. I'm done, bro. I'm so done.
I don't like it one bit. I don't care about it at all. I think Alexa Bliss is trying her best with the gimmick, and she's kind of doing kind of well, but I just don't care about it. I think the whole Lily thing is too complicated. It's too goofy. It's not something that I like, and I've said this from the beginning. It's not working. It should not be happening right now. Just put Alexa Bliss back to being the goddess or something, because right now you are wasting her prime years of her career. That's what I think. End Gaming says that The Miz made the IC title the most popular out of anyone who has held it, and he's also one of the best superstars that
Oh, really?
To mark it off. and step it up. Walmart makes getting it all easier.
WWE has, and I will agree with that statement. The Miz made
The Miz, when he was Intercontinental Champion, let's be real, any time frame, he was great. He was great. And what I just said, he was. He was great, and I loved it. From his first time winning to his very last time winning, I loved him being Intercontinental Champion. I loved him being United States Champion. I love him being, well, I wish he was more memorable as a WWE Champion, but still. I love when he wins titles, and I love The Miz in general. The Miz is a really good character-wise. He really knows what he's doing. Like, the guy who plays Miz, he can really kill it. He really does. He is always going to be a mainstay that doesn't need to always be around a title. He can just go against Damian Priest. Even whenever they give John Morrison that final push that he needs to leave to so where he has the struggle for a little bit before becoming a bigger star. Because I want to see him eventually contend for the WWE Championship. I mean, he doesn't have to win it immediately, but it would be nice for him to come to this I guess superstar role that he should have been able to fit. Like, he could have, I think 2011 was the time he could have been it, I think, or I'm thinking of a wrong year, because I could be wrong about any of these years, because I have a mental picture in my head of when either one of them won a championship. Of anyone, when I say a year, I'm thinking of an in particular day, but not knowing that in particular day. That's how I judge, and that's how I remember certain years was like what happened like one time in that year. That's pretty much it. But I think it was 2011, or was it like 2009? I don't remember. I do know is when he came back, and I think he had the whole thing with Trish Stratus, and they did, and I think I forgot how the woman wasn't she like a superstar? Like, when I mean superstar, like, she wasn't a wrestler. She was like a movie star or something like that. Snooki or something. I think it was Snooki. I think. I don't know. I forgot. I know it's like a three man match. Oh, 6-man match. I'm sorry, 3-man match. That's stupid. Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
IC title feel like it was bigger than
Oh,
the
yeah, he did that.
WWE
He
Championship, and not a lot of people treated it like that except for him. So you do gotta appreciate the Miz's love for the Intercontinental Championship. I want to see him win the title back sometime soon.
Oh, really?
At this point, I don't really want to see the Miz hold the WWE or Universal Championship.
Okay.
I think the man does wonders when it comes to the IC title, and he makes it feel as important, if not more. So yes, I will agree with you and Gaming. Access Gaming, another gaming here, he says that Apollo Crews' title reign has been underwhelming, and I will agree with that. It has been.
Yes, very much so. The problem came in very early on, and I could have told you it wasn't going to be that good very early on because of one thing. He took advice from Roman, and he didn't stick with Roman. And some people would say, what is that supposed to mean? I'm going to say it like this. You took advice from the guy, and you went down your own path and failed at the end of it. Not only did you fail, your brother's on his way, but I don't know, bro. I think personally they should, him being Intercontinental Champion could have been so much better, personally. I think that he honestly could have been doing so much more than what he actually was doing. He could have been with Roman, a part of the bloodline, and he could have been like that type of wrestler. Like, he could have been, okay, put it like this. You know how they had the Hurt Business on Raw? They could have been the bloodline, the blood family, the bloodline, for SmackDown. They could have been like the Hurt Business 2.0, but except much better than the Hurt Business. They would have not had just 4 members, well, 5 if you count Paul Heyman, but 4 of the members were actually very good wrestlers. You could have won basically every title, and that's what gets me about it. Universal, Tag Team, and even the Intercontinental. So you're telling me that you missed up an opportunity for that, for at least for even 2 months of just that? just for him to be with the mind, General Azil. No, please don't do that. Please. I'm not saying the character was bad. I'm just saying what they did with him was bad. They made the Intercontinental Championship. He made the Intercontinental Championship talked about, but other than that, that was pretty much it. That was it. We had some stuff with Kevin Owens. We had stuff with Big E Langston. We had stuff with Sami Zayn. But after all that, it was dead. It was dead. So I agree because it was stupid to treat my man's like this when they could have given him, put him in the bloodline and let him run rampant. But they didn't let him do that. So that's fine, I guess.
Complete shit, if we're being honest. It's not good whatsoever. The run has been horrible. It feels like WWE isn't trying. At first, it was really cool. And
Yes.
I thought that WWE cared about Apollo Crews, but it looks like some things just never change. It's back to what it was. Apollo Crews barely shows up on TV. It's just a hot mess is what I'm trying to say. Serious Naz says that Ronda's recent comments on WWE fans are kind of true. And if you
what'd
don't
she
know
say?
what happened, basically Ronda Rousey said that these fans are the same ones who were complaining about Bray Wyatt being fired, or the same ones who were chanting "We want beach balls" at one of the Fiend's matches or entrances or segments or something of that nature. And
Okay, so to say that before you give me your opinion, if you don't mind, I'm gonna say this. When it comes to the fans, I really pay attention, but don't pay attention. As a fan of WWE, I can tell you this. I didn't like the theme when it first came out. I didn't know how to feel about it, but I had to, just like anyone else, you have to give things time. But if you're talking about the same people that said, we want the Fiend, beach balls. Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't be like that. Don't act like that. Don't act like you actually care if you're just going to do this to my mans. No. I completely say that Ronda, you're right, and we're stupid. Well, not we, because I wasn't a part of that. I didn't even know it was a thing.
that is a pretty cool statement because it makes you think, it's insightful, and it's a good point. But I don't know. I can't agree or disagree with this one. I feel like Ronda Rousey is right to a degree, but I think she's oversimplifying so many things. I think the fans were just trying to have fun that night. A lot of them don't hate Bray Wyatt. You know what I mean? Like, we don't hate Bray Wyatt. There was never a need for hating Bray Wyatt. It's just having some fun in the crowd. When you're there, you just want to have a good time. So I guess the more I say it out loud, the more I am against what Ronda Rousey said, actually.
I understand.
Bob Cosmic said that the current IC title, I'm thinking that they mean the presentation or the design of it, is not as good as the old one.
Very much true. I think that the only way that this title, I'm sorry, Roxy, I keep walking past you. You just rubbing your face on my leg every time I walk by. It makes like I'm hitting you. Sorry, baby. The current presentation of the title looked good on, release and everything. It was like the equivalent to, like, I'll put it like this. I feel like this title would be better if let's say it was like the United States Championship. Like, changing certain titles are cool, but certain times you just don't change for a particular reason. And this would be one of my things of saying. The reason I don't like the new title is because it was meant for Shinsuke Nakamura, and it feels like it. It feels like it's supposed to be only for Shinsuke to have, and I think personally that's what WWE should stick to, is like certain wrestlers, when they obtain a title, the title should change to fit them. Not just because image-wise, I think that it helps a lot because of one in particular thing. Because if you do something like that, instead of like changing the title like a spinner title, make it only a spinner title when, certain wrestlers winning that would fit their gimmick, that would fit their character. Yes, because then the title shouldn't make the star should make the title. If you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that Roman should be popular because he's Universal Champion that claims Tribal Chief. No, I think that He should be the tribal chief that has the Universal Championship. You should remember he's tribal chief first before you remember he's Universal Champion. Now he's Universal Champion, then he's tribal chief. Like, you see what I mean? You're not supposed to put that behind it. You don't put the title above the character. You make the character above the title. And that's why when characters pick up the title, they make the title bigger. So when the next person does, it makes not only what they're doing big and also with their name bigger. That's what it's supposed to do. So I think that they should always change up the titles, depends upon who has it. Even if it's just a minor difference, I think that even if like a tad bit of the darn fabric is different, as long as it fits the character, I think that's what it should do, personally. But let's hear what he has to say.
And I will agree with that statement. I absolutely loved, I adored the old white IC championship. I thought it was the best looking title in the entire WWE at the time.
We have a game coming out. I just remembered that. I wonder if they have the new one in it. If they do, I wonder how it looks in the game.
And maybe even in the entire history of the WWE. But they then changed it to this new one, and a lot of people liked it and said it looked really cool, but I was never a fan. Like, I don't think it's horrible. I don't think it's horrible, but I just didn't see the need of changing the title, especially since the other one felt more prestigious, because a lot of people held that exact same title. I don't get it. Doesn't make sense to me, so I will agree with that one. Alex says that with Hangman losing, it makes the storyline even better. And at first, I was really upset about Hangman losing because I wanted to see him win at All Out. I thought that was the right time, but I kind of agree. Long-term storytelling, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are going to debut.
Here's my thing with AEW in particular, and I would state this. If I haven't stated this, I would state this. Too many WWE guys will ruin AEW. How? Because AEW won't be able to really put too much on their on certain wrestlers that need the time and the space to be able to do it, but they're too busy shoving CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Matt Hardy, Jericho, John Moxley, and many more just down your throat and in your face, that after a while you kind of get tired of it, and you'll be so used to seeing a release and knowing they're just going to go to AEW, that I think that WWE should hold on to what they have and really just settle with the what's name and just let go of the clouded judgment and help AEW out a bit. Let AEW help them out and just shake hands and just let it all go. Because if they don't, they're all heading for a stupid place. Both companies, to me personally, are stupid for not being able to work together. And because I don't like AEW only because I liked AEW when it has a few WWE stars. That's fine. A few former WWE stars, that's fine. But when it becomes too much after a while, and we start to reach that point of, yeah, that's not good. That's not good, like, whatsoever. But hey, it's just a theory. So for Hangman losing, I'm okay with Hangman losing. It's fine. Why? Because I know that he deserves more time. I don't want him to have the title and immediately become a guy that just got debuted on by like Daniel Bryan or CM Punk, and then immediately knowing that he's gonna have to drop the title in a few, like, 2 to 3 months. I'd rather him become champion and hold it for a good while, like becoming like at least, I say always halfway of a year because of one thing, and that's only 6 months. But the only reason I say that is because I think that is an average title reign, in my personal opinion. An average one at best would be a good 6 months of being champion before having to drop it to a star who's deserving of it now. That should be a full reign. And if you need more than a year, that's fine too. That's fine. No problems.
Return. They're going to debut anytime soon, so you don't want to take all that attention away from Hangman.
See?
And his big win. I think it's going to be even better payout if he wins the title a year later at All Out, which is where he lost to Kenny Omega, and this is where he gets his redemption. It's the perfect redemption storyline arc. Jay says that Randy Orton is honestly one of the most underappreciated wrestlers of all time, and I got...
Stop talking, please, everyone. He's not underappreciated. He was acknowledged multiple times throughout every part of his career, basically. When they hyped him up when he was still younger, they did that thing. When they hyped him up, even when he hit that when he did 2009, they had him. 2011, 2010. As I went back, yes, I know I went forward and went back because I can't forget. 2014, was it really 2013? I guess, yeah, 2013, I guess. But 2014, 2015, and definitely 2014. Definitely. No, definitely 2013, I think it was. That's when he was champion. That's when he was champion, if I'm correct. No, it was 2014 when he was champion. I'm trying to remember who was champion. He was champion, right? Oh, it was 2013 and he was champion. And he beat John Cena for to become, the whole thing. Like he has his dues, and if he ever wins the title again, I think it just puts an icing on the cake of okay, he's gonna retire soon, right? Because I don't really see him really going after any more titles because of this. Legend, for sure. Anytime this man leaves the company for real, I will be ready to be that guy to just simply say, can you hire me so I can be the guy to say, here is the Apex Predator at the Hall of Fame? Because, oh my goodness, bro. Sign me up. I'm game.
I disagree. Nobody, and I mean nobody, says that Randy Orton is underrated. Everyone says that he's so good and he's a legend in the business and he's one of the best to ever do it. So I don't know what you're listening to, Jay, but that's just wrong. Bro. Maybe there's new fans, young smarts, or whatever you want to call them, hardcore fans that think Randy Orton is overrated. That is not the majority. A lot of people would say that Randy Orton is one of the best to ever do it, including myself. The next one says that Baron Corbin has a good gimmick right now, and I honestly agree with that.
I will say this about Baron Corbin. Before I get into just in particular this, I'm going to say this. When he was in NXT, he was a legitimate threat to like people. He felt like a legitimate threat to people. When he debuted, he felt like a legitimate threat just soon to be. Like we just felt like it was just a matter of time before he became Intercontinental Champion, before he became United States Champion. But before, I felt like he could have even won a heavyweight championship and just ran with that for a good while. I felt like that at the beginning. But as time went on and he continued on, they changed his theme song. It started to go downhill, and he became more of a jobber. He felt like he would never get out of pre-show, or even I felt like he was the only wrestler who could go everyone on the card but never really win. Like he would shockingly win like against like certain wrestlers like Chad Gable type characters. Like I didn't see him losing. I didn't see him beating like John Cena legitimately. I didn't see him beating Seth Rollins for the Universal title. I think even if he would have done it, it would have been short, very short. But it's fine, I guess. His character right now, I like it because it's really giving him deserved attention, and it's a different, thing. Instead of him coming out as the king, Baron Corbin, sad Corbin that can't pay for anything. It's like the R-Truth that we need. Like, give R-Truth a break. I mean, he's not really doing that right now, but you know what I mean. My man's out here sad. He can't even afford to really be in this video right now. Hey, give him a little bit of the revenue from this video. Give it to my man Baron Corbin. Send him to his Cash App. I don't know if he got one. Does he have a Cash App? Somebody give Baron Corbin's Cash App. He needs it right now. We need this right now. Oh my goodness.
Baron Corbin is killing it with this new broke-ass gimmick. It's so freaking funny every time he comes on TV. Like, I actually get excited when I see Baron Corbin come on tonight.
It's so funny, it is.
A phenomenal job. This guy understands character work and how to make you interested in his character. I love what he's doing. Baron Corbin is a great wrestler, super underrated, so good, great gimmick. I love it. And the last one comes from Monster, and he says that Bayley hasn't been good on the main roster since her call-up in 2016, and that's just capping. Like, come on, bro.
Bro, get out of here. What do you? I have nothing to say on this. Well, I mean, I am. NXT, she killed it. When she came into the main roster, bro, she killed that move. She killed it. She did the best she could. She won the title too early, in my personal opinion. Too early, but it was worth it though. And then when she turned heel, to try and win that title again, I also loved it. I loved it. I love the evil gimmick that she had, and I love the how I never thought I would say stuff like this. I love how she betrayed her best friend before her best friend betrayed her, because we knew it was just a matter of time before Sasha Banks betrays West End. We already knew it was just a matter of time, but it's dope, I guess. Let's see what you have to say to end this video. I'm gonna let you end this off.
Oh, you can't be doing this. We know that's just a lie. We all know that Bayley has done the best work of her career in 2020. We're just going to move on. It's over. That's it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Let me know if you want to see more hot take videos in the future. On the screen right now are